Hey there, my awesome artists. Today we are going to begin part 1 of our fall trees inspired by Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. For this part of the lesson, you are just going to need a white piece of paper and something black to draw and color with. I'm going to use a crayon, so preferably it would be best if you did use a crayon. If you don't and you have a marker, that is fine as well, or even colored pencils. So I'm going to show you step by step how to draw your tree, and that's actually going to be the only thing you're going to do today. So since you are not completing the lesson today, you do not need to submit this part. You're going to save your artwork for next week when we start on part 2. All right, well, let's get started on drawing our tree. Now, our tree kind of has like a darker feel to it, and so that's why we're going to be using the color black to draw our tree. All right, so I'm going to start my tree towards the bottom, and I don't want to go too high up because I want to leave room to really make it full and add our leaves to it later on, all the different colors. All right, our tree is going to start off almost kind of looking very kind of like a really skinny, dainty tree, but then we're going to kind of give it more shape and form as we fill it in more. All right, so the first part to the tree is going to be the trunk. All right, so I'm going to start the trunk just a little bit, about right here. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some branches. I'm going to bring it out. Bring this one out. Okay, then I'm going to add some other branches, some smaller branches. And of course, you don't have to put your branches where mine are. And if you know another way to draw a tree, of course, I want you to do it your way as well. I'm just showing you how I draw this particular tree. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another branch right here. Okay, and then one right here. And then one more going up the middle. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and add some smaller branches. So I'm going to give them kind of like that natural curved shape. Okay, and then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of go back over them and make it look more fuller. More full, just like this. So basically all you're doing, boys and girls, is just going back over your tree branches just to make them thicker. And then in a little bit, we are going to connect them. We want our tree to be really, really dark, so try to press down a little harder as you are coloring. And I'm going to go ahead and start coloring in the trunk of the tree. Okay, and this is where you're going to start to connect your tree. And how I usually connect them is by just kind of curving it in like this. So kind of like how our fingers are webbed, that's how I think of when I draw my tree and start to connect my branches. I just think of that little area between my fingers, and I do that same thing to my tree. So just a curve and then connect. All right, I'm just going to touch up my tree a little bit. And it's okay if you have, you know, some white little spaces or little parts, because we're actually going to go over our tree with another color next week. But all right, boys and girls, so this does it for that first part of the lesson. You are going to save this for next week, and I will tell you what we're going to do next with our trees. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope you have fun creating your fall trees. Remember, we are just doing this part. You are not going to add any leaves or any details just yet. We want to make sure that we have something to do for next week. So again, don't forget, you do not need to submit this part. All right, guys, I will see you next week. Bye.